What is up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today we are getting started with Paddy Pimblett reacting to Ilia Topuria's recent comments. Yesterday Ilia Topuria held his press conference in Spain where he discussed his potential plans moving forward. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. During the press conference, Ilia reacted to rumors about headlining the first Paramount card by saying it is very possible. When asked about a potential opponent, Ilia said there are 3 people he would like to fight. The first is Paddy because they have history and he believes that is the fight everyone wants to see. The second is Islam. As for the third opponent, Ilia said he does not know and that anyone can get it. It appears that Paddy saw those comments and responded on social media. He wrote, "Paddy, why has he not signed the contract yet?" He included a picture of himself shrugging. This has led fans to wonder if a potential Ilia Topuria vs Paddy Pimblett fight could headline the first Paramount card. It also raises questions about where this leaves Justin Gaethje, considering he has said he will either fight for the belt next or retire. Daniel Cormier is not happy with the UFC scoring system. Cormier has criticized how takedowns are scored in MMA fights in the past, and following UFC 320 he is once again voicing his frustration. In the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili used his wrestling to secure a unanimous decision win over Corey Sandhagen. According to official statistics, Merab recorded 20 takedowns in the fight while Sandhagen defended 17 attempts. Cormier recently discussed those numbers on his podcast with Chael Sonnen. During the discussion, Cormier said he does not agree that Merab should have been credited with 20 takedowns in the fight and questioned how those actions are being scored.
The MMA takedown is a problem. The way that they score MMA takedowns is the problem, Chael. A takedown should be when you go to the mat. A takedown should not be when you get back up and the guy picks you up and just puts you back down. He never lost control. They called me in. They called me in, Chael. They sat me with the people that do the takedown, and I still walked out of there going, well, it ain't a takedown. They should get us in the room. Let us tell them what a takedown is. And then those numbers won't seem so big. Merab didn't get 20 takedowns. Merab probably got 5 or 6 takedowns. And he got 14 mat returns.
As noted, Daniel Cormier has raised concerns about how takedowns are recorded in MMA fights. In this particular matchup, many would argue that whether Merab recorded 20 takedowns or only 5 or 6, as Cormier believes, would not have changed the outcome. Merab controlled much of the fight and also outstruck Corey Sandhagen by a wide margin. However, Sandhagen recently accused Merab Dvalishvili of gaming the scoring system. While speaking with Ariel Helwani, Sandhagen shared his thoughts on the fight and Merab's grappling approach. He said that the claim of 20 takedowns was funny to him because watching the fight does not give the impression that Merab's wrestling was extremely impressive. Sandhagen explained that Merab relied heavily on body locks, which do not cause much damage but are effective at maintaining control. He noted that Merab usually fights for those positions briefly before letting go and striking, but this time he stayed locked in and forced Sandhagen to constantly fight his grip. According to Sandhagen, Merab used that strategy to drain time off the clock and described it as a gamey way to win. It will be interesting to see if this criticism impacts Merab's strategy moving forward. The bantamweight champion is currently booked to defend his title against Petr Yan at UFC 323 on December 6. Anthony Hernandez has responded to Sean Strickland's recent call-out. It remains unclear who Hernandez will fight next following his withdrawal from UFC Vancouver, but the rising middleweight has made it clear that he is open to facing Strickland. Hernandez was originally scheduled to fight Roman Dolidze in the main event, but an injury forced him out of the bout. At the time, many believed a win over Dolidze could have secured Hernandez a title shot given his 8-fight winning streak. More recently, Strickland told MMA Junkie that he wants to fight Hernandez next. He also took several jabs at Hernandez's wrestling-heavy style and even referred to him as the American Chimeev. During a follow-up episode of the Weigh-In podcast, Hernandez was asked to respond. He said that Strickland is funny and known for saying wild things, but added that if Strickland wants the fight then he is willing to do it. Hernandez also stated that he would prefer to fight Dricus du Plessis because that matchup would almost guarantee a title shot. Hernandez explained that both potential fights would get him to the belt and that he is not picky. He said that whoever the matchmakers call him for, he will sign the waiver and take the fight. He added that both matchups would be fun, very bloody and lucrative for everyone involved. Hernandez later gave more context as to why he prefers du Plessis. He said that du Plessis has done a lot as a champion and defeated several big-name opponents. Hernandez believes that beating a proven former champion would mean more. While some fans argue that Hernandez may want Du Plessis because of his struggles against strong wrestling, it is also true that Du Plessis is currently ranked number 1 and has only lost once since 2018. He has also defeated Strickland twice, which could make a win over him more significant. Dana White recently went off on a lunatic promoter. In a new interview, Dana fired back at boxing promoter Eddie Hearn following recent criticism. Hearn had previously taken shots at Dana regarding the boxing event he promoted featuring Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. During an appearance on the 3 Knockdown Rule podcast, Dana responded by calling Hearn a lunatic and made it clear that he is done entertaining his comments.
Well, it's fascinating. Eddie Hearn all of a sudden is acting like a lunatic. You know what he sounds like to me? He sounds like he's reading a WWE script. I've known Eddie for a while, and this isn't Eddie's personality, but the other thing is when you hear somebody like Eddie talk, it reminds me of a career politician. He's running for election now, and he's like, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this. Well, where were you the last 20 years? You didn't do. Those guys never thought big. All of a sudden now, Eddie's going to, change boxing, and he's going to fix this, and he's going to do that, and he's going to compete with me, and he's going to do all this. I don't even think about those guys, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And like Eddie Hearn, which was hilarious, where Eddie Hearn's like, he didn't come up with this fight. He didn't create Canelo. Yeah, no Sherlock. Where have you seen me running around going, I came up with this idea, and say I came up with Canelo Crawford, I made it, and all this. Somebody is writing him a WWE script, and he just sounds ridiculous. They're not going to do jack.
Dricus Du Plessis predicts Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Drake is Duplik predicts Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Tom Aspinall is a sizable favorite in the betting lines ahead of UFC 321, and it doesn't sound like we'll see Draus Duples throwing any cash at the fight's dog. Aspinall is booked to face the former interim heavyweight champion Cyril Gane at the November 22nd event taking place in Abu Dhabi. The fight will be Aspinall's first since he was officially declared the undisputed champion after John Jones' very brief retirement. Well, as the event nears, Aspinall is the favorite to win the contest with odds in the -400 to -480 range. Duplessis recently spoke with Fight Forecast, and here's what he had to say when asked who he thinks will win the championship fight.
So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going Aspinall on this one. I think he's hungry. I think he's ready. He looks phenomenal in the training footage that I saw. Obviously, Cyril Gane is a specimen. I mean, just the way he's built, he's massive. And once again, anything can happen. It's heavyweight.
This should not come as a surprise, as Dricus Du Plessis has praised Tom Aspinall in the past. Just a couple of months ago, Du Plessis spoke highly of Aspinall and explained why he believes he is special. He said that the first time you watch Tom Aspinall fight, you immediately know there is something different about him. Du Plessis described Aspinall as the next generation of heavyweight who moves like a middleweight. He pointed out that Aspinall is light on his feet and skilled in grappling, striking, and wrestling. Du Plessis said he is happy for him and believes Aspinall will be a great champion for a long time. He also added that there are not many heavyweights currently on Aspinall's level. Du Plessis is far from the only person to make comments like this about Aspinall and his all-around abilities. UFC updates. Here are some of the latest fight announcements. AG Fight recently reported that middleweights Marco Tulio and Christian Leroy Duncan are set to compete at the UFC Fight Night card on November 8th in Las Vegas. Tulio is coming off a stoppage victory over Ilia Topuria in April, which marked his second straight finish. After earning his UFC contract through Dana White's Contender Series in 2024, the Brazilian fighter is riding a 10-fight winning streak. Christian Leroy Duncan meanwhile defeated Eric Anders in his most recent appearance in August. The English fighter has gone 3 wins and 2 losses in his last 5 fights. MMA Junkie also reported that the November 8th Vegas card will include a flyweight matchup between Matt Schnell and Joseph Morales. Schnell likely avoided being released by the UFC in April after earning a unanimous decision win over Jimmy Flick. Prior to that victory, the American fighter had lost 3 straight bouts. Morales is coming off a submission win over Alibi Idris in August, which earned him the Ultimate Fighter Season 33 title. He has now won 6 straight fights, including his exhibition bouts on the show. And while this next update is unlikely to bother Dan Hooker ahead of his November 22nd fight with Arman Tsarukyan, a video clip of Tsarukyan knocking over a punching bag has caught the attention of fans. Arman Tsarukyan will be competing for the first time since April 2024 when he defeated Charles Oliveira by split decision. That win marked Tsarukyan's 4th straight victory. Dan Hooker has also not competed in 2025 yet. His most recent fight took place in August 2024 when he earned a split decision win over Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot remains the last fighter to defeat Sarukian. Hooker enters UFC Qatar riding a 3-fight winning streak. While we may not see Sherab Bullet Magomedov return to the octagon before the end of 2025, the highlight reel striker is making headlines outside of MMA. The middleweight recently revealed that he will appear in the upcoming Goldfish movie starring Danny Trejo. The trailer confirms his appearance and mentions him by name. There had been discussions about Magomedov facing Paulo Costa in November, but the Russian fighter is currently recovering from nose surgery. A UFC fighter has broken his silence following backlash from comments involving Khabib Nurmagomedov. Anshul Jubli faced heavy criticism earlier this year after remarks surfaced about how a hypothetical fight between him and Khabib would play out. Reports claim Jubli said he could submit Nurmagomedov, which drew attention especially after Jubli suffered a quick stoppage loss to Quillan Sokolld. At the time a video circulated in which Jubli spoke about his mindset. He said there is no difference between him and Khabib mentally and claimed he has a world champion mindset. He added that nothing can break him and suggested that if he survived the first round he could knock Khabib out or even submit him. Those comments were later shared with Khabib's longtime coach Javier Mendez, who responded by saying Jubli is a good kid but should not be making statements like that. Mendez suggested Jubli was seeking attention and said he needs to become a champion or top contender before speaking that way. Now Jubli is responding to the backlash. In a recent social media post, the Indian lightweight said that small clips were taken from a long interview and presented in a misleading way. He said he was not disrespecting Khabib and does not care about public opinion. Jubli added that people who know him understand how much respect he has for Khabib and how much he has learned from studying his style. He explained that the comment about submitting Khabib was meant as humor and would be understood if fans watched the full interview. It remains unclear when Jubli will return to competition. After starting his career with a 6-fight winning streak including a win on road to UFC, he currently holds a 1-2 record inside the octagon. The MMA community is also reacting to new footage involving Jon Jones. A video surfaced showing Jones play fighting with Hasbulla while sitting on a couch. In the clip, Hasbulla places a pillow over Jones' face while Jones pretends to struggle for air. While it appeared to be lighthearted, fans quickly reacted online and began roasting Jones after noticing his reaction during the moment. The clip has since gone viral across social media.
I need that video.
The MMA community was quick to roast Jon Jones, especially given the rumors that have been circulating about him. Fans did not hold back with their reactions on social media. One fan said the noises he was making were disgusting. Another asked why Jon Jones looked bricked up in the video. Someone else referenced a past Joe Rogan interview where Jones claimed he failed a test due to having bills to pay. One comment joked that they had never seen Hasbulla move so fast and said he looked scared. Another fan simply asked what was wrong with Jon Jones and said it gets worse every time he makes headlines. Other comments continued to pile on. One fan said Jon Jones looked way too excited during the clip and suggested he seemed to enjoy the situation. Another pointed out that Hasbulla is actually 23 years old and joked that Jones found a loophole. One fan called it one of the most ridiculous videos they had ever seen and said they had seen enough. Another joked about a new mythical fighter called Bricked Up Jon Jones. One final comment joked that Jones looked like he was signaling for someone to get him out of there.